Good evening, I hope everyone's well today. As always, thank you for watching. My MP, Sarah Pochin in Runcorn and Helsby, continues to speak, in my view, for the vast majority of the British people and the British nation. You don't have to have an automatic policy of mass deportations to get the results that you need. Yes, it would be nice for a government to be that bold. It would be nice to say, right, all the illegals out, everyone in the Boris wave out. That would be nice, that would be welcome, and it would be what everyone wants. However, there are more than one way to skin a cat, and my MP has hit the nail on the head. And I'm going to play a bit of an interview where I seen her on GB News earlier on today, and I'll go through it, and we'll have a little conversation about it.
I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio now by the Reform UK MP for Runcorn and Helsby, Sarah Pochin, as well as GB News' senior political commentator, Nigel Nelson. Sarah Pochin, a delight to have your company as ever.
Thank you.
We saw a U-turn today, a 50% U-turn, saving £2.5 billion a year, half the original saving of £5 billion. I put it to you, the total bill for benefits by the end of this decade, by 2030, is going to be £100 billion today. To many people, felt like a climb down.
This country is already bankrupt, partly due to the out-of-control benefits bill that we are now facing. Keir Starmer once again has U-turned. Already, in the 8 weeks that I've been in position, he's U-turned on the winter fuel allowance, he's U-turned on the grooming gangs, and here we are now U-turning on benefits. But he's U-turning because he's worried he's going to lose the vote. He's not U-turning with any conviction about what he's saying. He's even said, oh, I'm sorry, British people, I've been abroad, so I've lost track of all of this. And he's actually admitting that he has no conviction about what this bill, what this reform is trying to do. Now, if as a voter, that leaves me feeling confused and concerned that my Prime Minister does not know what he's doing.
Do you think that's a fair concern here? A lot of people, perhaps from the Reform Party, might think this doesn't go far enough. £2.5 billion in savings. It's a lot of money in isolation, but in the grand scheme of things, it's chicken feed. It's a drop in the ocean. It's 2.5% of the bill by 2030. Would your party have some more radical ideas, perhaps?
Look, Martin, this is, like you say, it's teetering on the edge here, you know.
It's tinkering around the edges. It doesn't really do anything to address the underlying concerns and the underlying way that the benefit system works. My personal opinion is you need to pay into the system to get out of the system, and we're going to get onto that in a moment or two. All of this needs reform. It needs dramatic change. We are bankrupting ourselves by being far, far too generous with the welfare system.
This is not going to make a huge difference, and the voters are confused. And you know what? I think people have lost interest in whether it's £2.5 billion or £5 billion. Nobody believes these figures. Who's going to believe a Prime Minister who keeps changing his figures and U-turning? If Reform were in power, we would do something really radical. Let's look at some policies that are totally haven't been discussed, that are out of the box. Like, why don't we say, you know what? You come into this country unless you can afford to be here, unless you can afford to look after yourself and buy your own house, you get no benefits. So
Completely agree. If you can't afford to sustain yourself, what are you doing in the country? Why are you taken out of the system? You should be really, really strict with things like this. Other countries like Australia are. If you can't afford to support yourself in Australia for 2 years, with savings that you bring into the country with you, they don't let you in the door, and it should be the same rules. We should be far, far stricter, and it should be contribution based as well. So if you want to claim benefits, you should be able to show that you paid your stamps, and if you've not paid your stamps, you don't get sweet FA.
say no benefits to anybody coming into this country in the first 5 years.
I'd be more radical than that. It's a start, and I'm glad she's saying what I think. It shouldn't be 5 years, it should be 10 years at least. And if you can't afford to support yourself, you're out on your ear. You've got no right to stay here, in my view.
say. So in other words, yes, you're welcome to come into this country, and everything I say in when I'm asked these questions, you are welcome here if you have something to offer. You are not welcome here. One, if you come in illegally, you go straight back. But if you come in and you expect free housing, free driving lessons in my constituency.
Yeah, she's right about that. In our constituency, Runcorn and Halsby, the council, run by Labour, are giving out free driving lessons to the illegals that come over, the dinghy divers from France. A safe country. They get free driving lessons when they come to the UK, they get free housing, and they work in the dark economy. It's all completely unacceptable. They are taking the piss. They know they are taking the piss, and we're being taken for a ride, and we're getting milked and bled dry.
Constituency, they're getting free mobile phones, free food allowances, free clothing, you name it, it's free. And of course, as we know, they're in the meantime working for Deliveroo and earning a lot of money. And I mentioned them, but of course there are other companies. But the point is, it's on a win-win basis, these people coming into the country at the moment. No, let's do something radical. No benefits. Benefits that the British taxpayer pay for. Why should we pay? If you want to come into this country, you contribute.
Completely agree with everything. As I say, slightly underwhelming. I wish they would have been harder line on that. But generally speaking, in the right direction. That's what I'll say about that. And the thing is, when you curtail the benefit system like that, and you stop giving handouts to all and sundry and the entire universe, they'll stop coming, because they're not going to get a free ride. And that's why they're here. They're here to get what they can get. They're not here to contribute. They're here because we are so soft on everything, because we're ruled by a weak liberal elite that just think that, I don't know, money grows on trees. When she says free driving lessons, well, it's actually free. I'm paying for it, you're paying for it. Why? How much did you pay to qualify to drive? Did you get it for free, or did you have to work and pay for it? It's a disgrace. Now, she was down south today, and she was at a event, and Adam Brooks was there. And again, I just want to be completely clear, this is the reform policy, so we're going to hear what she says.
Everybody that comes in on these boats will be deported and will never, ever be able to apply for British citizenship again. And when it comes to the boats, believe me, one, they're not small. These are not small boats. We must stop referring to them as small boats. These boats have 70 to 80 people on them. And they're not full of families with young children. They are full of 18 to 25-year-olds fighting men. And those men are going into our community, and they are causing and creating these grooming gangs. They are creating organised crime gangs. I know it. I've seen it. I hear these. And we have to stop being in denial about this. This government is in denial. The Tories were in denial. So we need to raise these issues. But the Prime Minister, have you noticed, everybody's listening to reform.
So yeah, completely agree with everything she said there as well. I don't think they're in denial. I think it's indifference. They don't care either way. Out of mind, out of sight. That's why they whack them in the hotels. They whack them in hotels because they're not like the jungle in Calais. If it was like the jungle in Calais, where they're all intense, making the place look untidy and look unclean, that's when the British public would have an issue with it, generally speaking. They think that nobody cares because they can't see it. They're very, very wrong. The British public are waking up. We are all waking up. We've been taken for a ride by the establishment for too long, and we're not taking it anymore. Now, just so there's no confusion, this is what's landing on our shores, and that's what's coming to claim benefits.
Should English people pay for you to have a house?
Maybe they give me.
Can't really speak English, but they do know give me. Give me. How about fuck off? Fuck off. Do you understand that one?
How they give me anything I can need there, give me.
No, you can sod off. You can go back to where you came from. You're not welcome in the United Kingdom. We don't want you here. You're not going to contribute anything of worth, anything of value, and we're sick to the backseat of it, and we're not taking it any longer.
Just give it.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. We need a complete overhaul on the system. It used to be, I was always told when I was younger, that you pay your national insurance and that's your unemployment benefit. Now, admittedly, this changed over time. That's no longer the case. It's just another tax on top of your income tax, and it all goes into one big pot. But that was the principle behind the national insurance when it first started, is you're meant to pay your stamps, pay into the system before you can take out of it. And there should be forced incentives for work. People rocking up to our shores, not speaking a lick of English, getting free food, free accommodation, earning up to £1,000 a week on Deliveroo. I'm sick of the backseat of it. A lot of people are fed up of it. I'm glad Reform UK are making the right arguments and the right noises. There is improvement that needs to happen. They need to get more hardline on issues, which is why I welcome Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe and what they're doing. This is all great because it shifts the conversation further to where it needs to be, and that can only be a good thing. Now, if you think that my MP is based, if you think my MP is making the right noises and saying the right things, you let me know. I certainly do. They need to get more stronger policies in place, but I like what I'm seeing, and I'm sure a lot of people are in witness, and other places up in the north are quite jealous of my MP, and I would be too. You've got stupid Labour backbench MPs that won't bring any of these issues up because they're not told to by central office. They're told to downplay it all. We're sick of it, and we're not having it. Like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.